Okay, at 9 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners to order. I'll ask everyone to please stand. I'll ask Commissioner McKinney to offer a word of prayer and then ask everyone to remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance right afterwards.
Let's pray. Father God, we just want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to serve once again. Father God, thank you for the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. Now, Father, we go make these decisions for the citizens of Jackson County. As you guide us, and just help us to make the best decision we possibly can. These are blessings in Christ Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to this morning's meeting. We've got a fairly lengthy agenda this morning, so I'd like to remind everyone that wishes to speak to any item on the agenda or not on the agenda to please keep your comments as brief as possible. I'd like to try to maintain a 3-minute, maximum 3-minute limit on that. With that being said, Ms. Daniels, we have any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
No changes to the agenda. Chair will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as shown in the agenda package. Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, a second from Commissioner McKinney. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising their right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Moving down to section 1, recognitions, resolutions and presentations. This morning we have an opportunity to recognize one of our citizens. This is an award that we've given for a couple of times now, and it's to recognize citizens that in Jackson County that go above and beyond in helping to make Jackson County a better place to live, a better place to work, a better place to visit. This quarter, our recipient is Danny Melvin. I've had an opportunity to know Danny and his family for a long time. I've had the opportunity to work with him and his family, especially in their love and protection of the Chipola River and Spring Creek. Does a wonderful job in not only protecting it and preserving it and keeping it pristine. But Danny, I know that you've helped a lot of people that have been in dire straits on the river. And with that being said, I'm going to ask you, if you don't mind, come forward to the podium and we'll read this proclamation and get a picture with you. Thank you so much. Absolutely. So thank you. I'm going to read this proclamation. It says, whereas the Citizen of the Quarter award is given in recognition of the outstanding community service and volunteerism in an effort to make Jackson County a better place to work and live. Whereas the Citizen of the Quarter shows commitment, support, respect, leadership, responsibility, positive attitude, cooperation, honesty, and self-discipline. Whereas the Citizen of the Quarter provides a positive image for the Jackson County community, promotes the general welfare of the community, and is active in many community events and organizations, which you are. Whereas the Citizen of the Quarter has dedicated countless hours of his time to removing trash and debris from Spring Creek and the Chipola River in an effort to preserve the natural beauty of this vital natural resource. Whereas he helps organize and facilitate an annual fishing tournament on the Chipola River in order to raise scholarship funds for students attending Chipola College. And whereas he is a man of action when needed, he recently assisted an individual in serious distress on the Chipola River, ensuring that the individual in need was quickly and safely transported to the boat ramp, where medical staff were able to aid the gentleman in achieving a full recovery. Without the Citizen of the Quarter's quick thinking and decisive action, the situation could have ended very badly. Now, therefore, I, Paul Donald Jr., Chairman of the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners, do hereby proclaim Danny Melvin as a Citizen of the Quarter. And all of those things those things that I read, all of those attributes that Danny has done all of these years are absolutely true. I've been able to witness it over many years. Your love of the Chipola River, Spring Creek, Jackson County in general, and the fact that you go above and beyond in keeping and preserving that Chipola River and Spring Creek in its pristine condition. We still have a lot of work to do, and I know that Danny will do a good job in continuing to work from this day forward. So for all of that, we appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Mayor.
And also want to congratulate his family, because I know that they participate. Julie and his daughter and son-in-law do a lot of work with you on helping do that as well. So congratulations to all of y'all as well.
Thank you so much. Again,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, while you're coming back up, just wanted to say that this originally came as a recommendation from a Mr. Brian Walker. I'm not sure if he is present or not, but just wanted to say that he is who sent this through for some kind of recognition, and it was perfect timing for the citizen of the quarter. So
Very good. Thank you for bringing that up and noting that. Okay, Mr. Chair. Yes, sir.
I'd like to say that, you know, a lot of us do love Jackson County and do a lot of things. But Danny not only says it, but he lives it. He proves it every day. I've never seen anyone as passionate about keeping something up, keeping it beautiful as he does Chipola River.
I think well said.
I just thank him for it.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, moving down the agenda. Item number 2 is board adoption of an FDOT SCOP resolution and approval of the agreement for Alliance Road. Ms. Daniels.
yes, Jackson County received a SCOP agreement from FDOT, which requires a resolution by the board. This project is for the construction and CEI services on Alliance Road.
Mr. Chair.
Making that for motion for Danny Melvin.
Do we need, I don't think we need. a
Yeah,
motion on that.
y'all do
Yeah.
usually approve it.
The
Mr.
resolution.
Chair, I make that
Okay.
motion, we approve.
We're
Danny Melvin.
jumping back. We've got a motion from Commissioner McKinney, a
Yes.
second from Commissioner
Citizen of
Crutchfield
the quarter.
to approve the resolution recognizing Danny Melvin as a citizen of the quarter. Thank you for catching that. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Moving back down to item number 2, then, the resolution of approval for the agreement on Alliance Road. Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Branch. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Moving down into section 2, which is a public hearing. We have a request for board discussion and approval of a small scale amendment. Ms. Daniels.
Yes, this is a request for a small scale amendment to change the future land use designation of 16.31 acres of one parcel from residential to mixed use urban transitional. The parcel is located in the northeast intersection of Highway 90 and Lakeshore Drive in unincorporated Jackson County. And the Planning Commission at their July 1st meeting did recommend approval of this request.
You want to read the ordinance by title?
Yes. An ordinance amending ordinance number 91-6, which adopted the Jackson County Comprehensive Plan to provide for the adoption of a certain small-scale future land use map amendment to the Jackson County Comprehensive Plan, providing for severability and for repealer, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. We'll close out our regular meeting and go into a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to either speak for or against the adoption of this small scale amendment? If there are, please raise your hand and come to the podium. Seeing no hands in the audience wishing to speak either for or against the small scale amendment. Fred, is there anyone online wishing to speak either for or against the amendment?
As a reminder to those online, anyone wishing to speak for or against this may use the raise hand feature on Zoom or *9 via telephone.
Fred, are you there?
Can you hear me in there?
I can hear you, Fred.
You want to check and see if we've got anybody online? Text him. Mm-hmm. Got any technical issues there that you can see?
Not that I see.
Okay.
He is there.
Bear with us just a moment while we work through these technical difficulties.
There are no hands wanting to speak to this issue.
Okay. With that being said, recognizing there are no hands in the audience or no hands indicating a desire to speak either for or against, then we'll close out the public hearing, go back into a regular discussion meeting.
I make a motion, we approve the request.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 2 under public hearing is board review and approval of a general development order for Project Banjo. Ms. Daniels.
This is a request for a general development order to construct a 2,700 square foot building to be used as a coffee shop with a drive-through window and sit-down restaurant, and construct 36,572 square feet of vehicular use area and sidewalks. The project will be located at 2195 Highway 71 South in unincorporated Jackson County. On July 1st, the Planning Commission recommended approval, and I do believe there's someone that would like to speak online if we
Okay.
can hear.
Before that, we'll go ahead and close out our regular meeting, go into a public hearing. I'll ask if there is anyone in the audience wishing to speak either for or against the granting of this general development order for Project Banjo. Seeing no hands in the audience wishing to speak either for or against, well, I understand we do have one person online. If you would go ahead, please, and state your name for the record and say what you would like to say. Can you hear us?
Hi, good morning. This is Thami with Thomas Engineering Group. Are you able to hear me?
Can you speak up just a little bit? We can barely hear you.
Yes, this is Thami Det with Thomas Engineering Group.
Okay, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I would just like to bring up something that I had discussed with the landowner just this morning. We would like to express some concern regarding the development agreement that was shared with us just last night. It doesn't reflect the changes that was accepted per prior correspondence for Project Bobo as well as now Project Banjo. And we would like to confirm that the correct version is being presented at this hearing.
Rhett, could you translate any of that?
There were some changes made between the change from project to this.
And this is Michelle. Can you hear me?
Yeah, so way I understood it was there were some changes from project, when it changed from Project Bobo to Banjo that were not reflected in today's. Okay, so is what they're seeing in their packets accurate? Okay.
So what we're seeing,
So the development agreement that was sent over to the landowner's attorney last night, it doesn't reflect the changes that were accepted per prior correspondence with the county's attorney. And we would just like to make sure that the correct version is being presented today.
Yes, the current version is being presented today.
Okay, and I personally haven't seen the draft development agreement. It was not sent to me. It was sent directly to the landowner's attorney. Just would like to confirm that it was not the standard development agreement and that was the altered version that was reviewed and accepted per the previously approved Project Bobo project. It's the same landowner.
can you respond to that?
Yes,
Amber?
it is the same landowner.
Okay,
And the attorney for the landowner is online or should be online
Okay.
to speak for the development agreement.
okay.
Mr. Chairman?
Who is this lady with?
She's from the engineering group.
Okay.
Her name's Thami.
She is with the engineering group that actually did the engineering work for this project?
Yes.
Okay. And again, I could not hear the first part of it, but did she express any concerns with the project, or was it just?
Not with the project,
Just
with the development
clarifying
agreement.
that the information that was approved at the planning and zoning board is the same information that's in our packet?
Correct.
Okay. So is the attorney for the landowner online?
Do we know their name so that I can unmute them?
I believe the attorney's name is David Phillips.
Yes, David Phillips and Taylor.
Okay. And David is the attorney that supposedly
Correct.
is online.
Mhm.
David, are you online? And if you would, state your name for the record and who you represent.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning, Mr. Chairman. This
We
is
can hear
David
you. Go
Phillips.
ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go
Okay,
ahead.
very well. Thank you, sir. I will make this very quick for the board this morning. I appreciate the engineer providing that background. The only provision that we requested to have struck from the previous version of that development agreement for Project Banjo is Section 10. And that was struck from the Project Bobo development agreement with the same landowner. And so I believe with the approval of the commission to strike Section 10, the development agreement should be in final form this morning.
And we did have those discussions at this table at one of our previous meetings. And I think the consensus of the board was that we were all in agreement unanimously in the striking of that provision number 10. I don't recall specifically what it was about, but I do know that I reviewed it, and I think all the board reviewed it, and we were all in agreement with the striking of that provision.
And
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. That's my recollection as well. And if we could just have that revision made, this agreement today will be in final form, ready for execution.
Okay.
So you do have both versions of that at your place,
Okay.
one with it struck, one with it not, but also Michelle is trying to speak. I was just going to, while everything was quiet, she said
Okay.
that she was trying to speak and no one could hear her. So Michelle, you want to try again?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, Michelle.
Okay, I just want to put on the record that the last agreement that was approved over legal's objection, and I want to put my position on the record again. Please stop taking my tools from me. I did not approve the removal of that provision.
Right. We understand that. Okay. So with that being said, is there anything else from anyone online?
Nothing further from the landowner, sir.
Thank you. Okay, with that being said, we'll go out of the public hearing, go back into regular session. What is the direction of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the request with striking the number 10, I think you said, William.
Yes.
Strike that from the agreement.
Got it. Okay, we've got a motion from Commissioner Peacock. Second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of that motion, please signify by raising their right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you for moving forward with that request. Item number 3 is a public hearing. Under public hearing is board review and approval of the Bethlehem Ridge subdivision. Ms. Daniels.
This is a request for a 10-lot minor residential subdivision with lots ranging from 5 acres to 16.52 acres to be known as Bethlehem Ridge subdivision. The proposed subdivision is situated south of Coley Road, east of Mutual Road, and west of Bethlehem Road in unincorporated Jackson County. And on July 1st, the Planning Commission recommended approval.
Okay, you've heard the explanation. Anyone in the audience wishing to speak either for or against the approval of the Bethlehem Ridge subdivision? Yes, sir. Come forward, please, and state your name.
Mr. Chairman, you gotta go out of regular hearing and go into public.
We didn't do that. We are now, excuse me just a second, we're out of our regular session and into a public hearing. Okay, thank you.
We're probably got to get paperwork straightened out.
There you go.
My name is Brad Ken. I'm the neighbor of the area. And I was going through the agenda items and the paperwork that was presented. I had a couple of questions on it. One of them was the property says inside the USA and it says no. Is that USA mean United States of America or is that a typo? Say that again. Urban service area. Okay, I was just a misacronym usage there. The second item I'd like to cover is, on section 2, line item D. It calls for a parcel lot 16. And this is a 10 lot subdivision. Typo. It's 10. Okay.
10. Got it.
It
Okay, thank
speaks
you.
on there's enough buildable area outside the FEMA flood zone A, place a home. We'll cover that in just a second. On down in that same section, it says new developments of 50 acres or more are required to consult with Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. And then below that, it says the development is less than 50 acres. This is an 80-acre parcel. It's 80-acre development.
You want to respond to that, Amber? A typo, basically. Okay.
Is the Fish and Wildlife going to be contacted on this?
Have they been contacted? They were contacted. Did they have any response to that? Okay.
Do we have any record of that
Amber?
in the file? Okay. It's this area, this zone 10, they speak in the next paragraph about it being defined as area within 1% annual chance of flood. I'm not arguing against the FEMA map, but living there all my life, that is a wet land, and it is wet all the time. On the development lot map, they do not show it, but there is a significant drainage ditch that goes across the property. This is that drainage ditch. If you can see it there,
Bottom left-hand corner, or?
it's not on your map at all,
Okay.
but there is a significant drainage ditch that comes across the property and pours into lot 10. Lot 10 is a wet area, especially right behind lot 10 is what we would actually call a wetland, and it charges the aquifer. And we've got a lot of water to consider coming across there. That's why I'm concerned about, we have nothing from the Fish and Wildlife Conservation on this piece of property. That is a significant drainage ditch.
Good.
The property goes on to talk about the traffic impact analysis. And it says 7 of the 10 lots are on dirt roads. Coley Road, I would not even classify as a dirt road. Coley Road is more of a trail. And most of Coley Road today is in Bethlehem Road because of the wash. Coley Road washes severely bad down onto Bethlehem Road, flows down to this location where this drainage ditch crosses. The Road and Bridge Department is more than aware of the problems that this road had prior to paving it. The culvert that they put in back when they paved it is stopped up completely full now. The drainage ditch is not working, and the water doesn't cross the highway as it's supposed to. It goes across the highway, down the road, and flows into that low area on the other side of the road.
Looking at the photos that are included in our package, it does look like Coley Road is a fairly improved dirt road. I've not ridden that road, but it
Yeah,
looks like it's more than a trail.
It's not much more than a trail, but it is a named road. It is on county maintenance.
It does have power lines that I guess are along the south side of it.
Yes, there's a power line going to what we call the Coley Home Place that's there on the corner of Coley Road and Bethlehem Road on the opposite corner.
And they grade it, they grade it.
They do grade it.
They do grade it. And they get it graded, and most of it washes back down across Bethlehem Road and it's in the middle of that area there.
I assume that you are not in favor of
I am
this?
not in favor of this, because of the other end of Bethlehem Road, we have trailer park after trailer park after trailer park. And it's just a lot of riffraff in the area, and we really don't need any more riffraff. There's places down there that's got 2 and 3 trailers on a 1 acre lot. And that's outside of code. It's in violation of code. And we just don't want any more of that down in our areas. This area is full of wildlife. I grew up, we're walking this dirt road down in those holes and in those ridges. That is a natural drain to the aquifer. There is no creeks in our area. These are the creeks. These are the areas. This is where the water goes. It goes into the ground here. There's several sinkholes around it. It drops in, And the water runoff from our area goes through, into the aquifer through these wet, saturation pits.
Okay.
And, nonetheless, the deer and the wildlife and the various other things that make this area their home. I thank y'all for your time today.
I got a question.
Appreciate
Yes,
it.
sir.
You said this is wet and you mentioned sinkholes. Are there sinkholes on these properties?
There is a sinkhole on the, this is my map, but there's a sinkhole right here. It is not identified on any of your paperwork.
It's off of,
It's on the west side of Bethlehem Road. Down in, I can't read clear enough on this map, this lot map of what lot that is. It's so small scale and scanned in. This is
I
more,
think ours shows it starting.
this is more of your map here. This is what you're in your package.
Yeah,
It's here.
so it's off of the subdivision is the sinkhole.
It's in the subdivision.
It's in the bottom right-hand corner. of the
Bottom right hand
subdivision.
corner of this lot, whatever this lot.
Number
is.
one.
Has that number one, okay. I know this is 10 over here. I couldn't read the rest of them, what they were.
So it look like it's right across from Omega Trail.
Yes, kind of a mega trail and over to the right, there's sinkholes. But the biggest drain area is this, you can see it on your map. The backside of the mega trail, backside of lot 10. This water comes across here, goes through the culvert, supposed to. Again, this is named Bethlehem Ridge for a reason. This is a high hill here. And all the water flows this way. This comes this way and this comes across this way. And when this gets full, it flows and there's a very large sinkhole back here, 280 acres over that this water gets into and goes that way during when we have flood events.
So the sinkhole that you're referring to, how large of an area does it drain?
That sinkhole came in, sometime before the hurricane. As children, that sinkhole was not there. That sinkhole another gentleman here, Mr. Donnie Shores, would speak more on that sinkhole, but he was in there as well. He's the direct neighbor to this property. I'm across the street and down the way just a little bit, but, that sinkhole, 6, 7, 10 foot across.
Yeah, but the surrounding area is draining
It's
that direction.
Yes,
How many acres?
I had to guess most of this
That's
side
all
of
I
the
want
ridge,
to get.
most of this side of the ridge. All this water's coming this way. There's sinkholes here, this comes across, this is all drainage, all this comes in this, drains into this area.
Okay.
All the water flow comes across this property to there.
All of the proposed lots are west of Bethlehem.
Except for one. One is east of Bethlehem. This
One
is
is
the lot that's mistyped as 16 and 10. That lot is actually on the east side of Bethlehem and it butts this wetland. And it's it actually is at the corner of Omega Trail Road and Bethlehem Road is where if you're standing at Omega Trail Road looking due north, that's the property line and it cuts right through that swamp. Most of that swamp is you can walk out there anytime because it's just muck. There's no trees really. It's just, you've been in those places where when the water goes down, it's just open and clear. The water stands there year round. And when we have these droughts, you can get back in there and you can walk it, and see where the water levels are on the trees and such.
Is a mutual road is also a dirt road.
Mutual Road is a dirt road. It's on the opposite side of Bethlehem. It's got its own list of problems with the water flow going back down on the other side of the ridge. It goes back in there. Again, this water's trying to get to sinkholes. The water on the other side of the ridge, there's a large sinkhole north of this property and east of this property on my father-in-law's land or adjacent to my father-in-law's land that a lot of water goes into that sinkhole as well. Again, there's no creeks or rivers in this area for the water to drain into. It goes into sinkholes and then makes its way into the aquifer. The closest creek we really have is Dry Creek, which is due south of here, and there's a significant ridge between this and Dry Creek. The water doesn't get through there. This water goes into the aquifer through the sinks.
Okay, did this go to the Planning and Zoning Board? It was approved or? Okay. Did you, were you at the Planning and Zoning Board,
No.
Brad? Okay. Okay, what are the, anyone else
Thank you. for your time.
Thank you, Brad. Anyone else wishing to speak either for or against in the audience? Good
Donnie
morning.
Shores. I live at 1937 Bethlehem Road. I own property on the Bethlehem side, south of the property. And like Brad was talking about the water draining, I got 38 acres on the left side of Bethlehem, the west side, and all that water comes running down and goes under the road and runs into that same pond Brad was talking about on Omega side of the road. And my brother David owns a property on the south side of Omega Road. That water he's talking about running it, I live in 1937, which is about a quarter of a mile down the road, and all that water from what used to be the Ola Marsh property runs down my side of the property at 1937. Goes across Brad's sister's property down through my brother David's property and goes into that same water at Omega Trail. So there's a lot of water at that spot. And I can verify that sinkhole because I was out there chasing cows and come across it. It's about 10 to 10, I would say.
This is the
And that was
same,
before the hurricane.
this is the same sinkhole that Brad was talking about?
Yeah, that's on the west side of the road.
Amber, was the Planning and Zoning Board made aware of the sinkhole? Do you know?
You did not know about these people.
Okay,
But that's just, like Brad said, that's a drainage point. Mr. Crutchfield can verify the water going across that road.
Okay. Thank you. Anyone else? See no other hands in the audience, wishing to speak either for or against. Anyone online wishing to speak either for or against the issuance of this development order?
If there's anyone online that would like to speak for or against this item, they may use the raise hand feature on Zoom or *9 via telephone. I see no hands.
Thank you, Fred. With that being said, we'll close out the public hearing, go back into our regular session. The request or the item at hand is the approval of the subdivision. What are the wishes of the board? Any additional questions, comments?
Yeah, I would like to table this and ask that in view of the sinkhole coming up and the drainage issues, I'd like Road and Bridge to take a look at it because we just spent a sack full of money on Charnham Road over in that area to make sure that we're not setting ourselves up for another drainage issue. Let them take a look at our roads and everything, but also Amber, you've got Fish and Wildlife has reviewed this.
Yes, sir.
Make sure that we get a copy of that report.
You had said that they have not responded to the request or to the submission.
But make sure Planning Commission knows about the sinkhole, the drainage issues, and then bring it back.
Okay.
That'd be my motion to table
Got a
it.
motion from Commissioner Peacock to table this until some additional information can be obtained from Road and Bridge and make sure that everyone's aware of the sinkhole. I got a second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. We'll take a further look at this, get Planning and Zoning to take a look at it, get Amber and Road and Bridge to take a look at it, make sure that we've got all of the pertinent information before a decision is made. Thank y'all. Okay, that concludes our public hearing. We'll move into section 3, which is community development. Item one is board approval to set a public hearing for Corbin Road Mini-Farms Subdivision. Ms. Daniels.
Request to set a public hearing for August 13th, 2024 at 9:00 a.m. for a 10-lot minor residential subdivision with lots ranging from 2.2 acres to 3.29 acres to be known as Corbin Road Mini-Farms. The proposed subdivision is located at the southwest intersection of Corbin and Say Roads, north of Alford and approximately 1.2 miles west of Highway 231 in unincorporated Jackson County.
So moved.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner McKinney to set a public hearing for August 13th is at 9:00. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to set the public hearing, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. That concludes section 3, community development. Section 4 is reports and requests. Trust everyone's had a chance to review the consent agenda.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion from Commissioner McKinney, a second from Commissioner Peacock to approve the consent agenda items. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the consent agenda, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 2, board approval to hire a special counsel for the VA of the Value Adjustment Board. Ms. Daniels.
This is something that is required because county attorneys are not authorized to serve in this capacity. So this Ms. Martha Estuin has served for several years and is willing to serve at the same rate of $175 per hour.
Mr. Chairman, I've had a chance to serve on that. She does an outstanding job. I make a motion, we approve it.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion also carries unanimously. Item number 3, moving down the agenda, is board approval of the federal fiscal year 23 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistant Grant. Ms. Daniels.
Yes, the 51% letter is a prerequisite that allows the Jackson County Sheriff's Office to apply for the $38,194 that's been allocated. This is, there's some additional information in your packet, but we do recommend the board approves.
Okay.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Got the motion from Commissioner McKinney, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of that motion, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 4, request board approval of the fiscal year 2024-2025 law enforcement salary assistance agreement. This is ME 017. Ms. Daniels.
This grant agreement continues to provide $1,303,272 for salary increases for law enforcement officers.
Okay, you've heard the explanation.
So moved.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, a second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 5 is board approval of additional software licenses for the jail, Jackson County Jail. Ms. Daniels.
This quote is for additional Microsoft licensing to cover all employees at the Jackson County Correctional Facility that utilize computer systems at the facility. Current licensing only covers a portion of the staff and did not account for vacancies. The attached quote is $452. I believe that's an annual subscription.
It is an annual subscription. Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Branch. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 6, TDC sponsorship. This is reimbursement to the Alabama High School Rodeo. Ms. Daniels.
This is a request for the Alabama High School Rodeo Association for $7,500 in sponsorship funds for the rodeo event they hosted in April, and the TDC does recommend approval.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I got some questions on this. If you look at the paperwork they submitted, they pointed out several deficiencies. Have we corrected those deficiencies? If not, where are we?
I'm gonna let Ms. Williams answer that. I do know that we have been working on that. We've heard some reports at the TDC meetings, but if you would give us some detail on that, Ms. Williams.
Yes, sir. So Kim DeFelix was our primary contact with the Alabama High School Rodeo Association, and she personally went through and developed a list for additional equipment that will increase our ability to host more events and have a better experience for event organizers as well. That equipment has been ordered. I believe that it should have been delivered within the last week or two as well.
But there's more than just equipment.
Some electrical.
Did we get another transformer out there? So we can upgrade the breakers?
Well, that and we, working on adding additional 50-amp plugs for the, camper, well, not camper.
What about the
RV.
problems with the stalls?
Or whatever it is, so.
We talked about that a little bit. What was the, it was
Okay.
the type of material the stalls were constructed of?
Yes, sir. I think that the main piece that that Kim had mentioned was that they are more suited for cattle and that people wouldn't want to bring their horses into them.
Because of the openings in the block walls, they
Yes,
were
sir.
afraid that horses would get their faces in them, and that's gonna have to be something that's done.
Some gates too.
Yeah.
There's a problem with some gates.
The stall gate.
Am I the only one that read this thing?
No, I've read, we discussed these at the TDC.
We just
meeting.
already know that.
Yeah, right.
You're coming in late on the
We
discussion.
really have addressed everything except the stalls, and I mean, that's just one of those questions of, that is what we have to offer currently, so without, a major renovation.
No, you can just, there's rubber matting you put on those walls.
I have not ever heard of that particular request coming up until now, so, not saying we should or shouldn't do it, just.
I know the discussions that we've had at TDC have been basically been framed is that's a wonderful facility out there. There's an opportunity to host more events. There are some things that need to be looked at. Most of them are being looked at, and we'll continue to look at upgrades to make that facility a first-class facility so that we can be more successful in getting more events out there, which is a hugely economic for Jackson County, because when those people come in, there's a lot of economic development activity associated with it.
A lot of horse activity. So, if we need to put the rubber matting on the walls, so be it.
Well, we'll have an opportunity to discuss that during budgetary, during the budget discussions actually today. We'll be discussing some of the special projects, and we can have some of those discussions this morning.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Kelsey.
I'll make a motion, we approve the request since they're working on all the changes.
Got it. Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Branch. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 7 is the board approval of the TDC sponsorship award to the town of Sneads for the Sneads Boat Race. Ms. Daniels.
Yeah, this is a request to award a $5,000 sponsorship to the town of Sneads for the 2024 Sneads Boat Race, and the TDC did recommend approving that. But there is a stipulation that $50 of the $5,000 award would be used for promoting the event on the Visit Jackson County, Florida page.
Okay. Got a motion from Commissioner Branch,
Second.
second from Commissioner Peacock to approve the grant with the added stipulation. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, that motion carries unanimously. Item number 8, moving down the agenda, is board approval of the TDC grant award to RockaDock. Ms. Daniels.
This is a request to award a $4,000 grant to Trip Smith for the upcoming RockaDock event. The TDC board voted to award funds to be used on T-shirts and mesh bags for trash pickup at the event.
So moved,
A
Chair.
motion from Commissioner McKinney, a second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please symbolize by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 9, which is the last TDC item, is the sponsorship award to Jackson County Disc Golf. Ms. Daniels.
Yes, this is a $1,000 sponsorship to Jackson County Disc Golf for their autumn Tossum event to be hosted at the newly built Mere Disc Golf Course. Funds are to be used for tournament sanction fees and a custom stamped frisbee.
Got And this will be held out at the Citizens Lodge, Disc Golf or?
No, this is at the new.
The mirror? Okay, thank you for that clarification. Got a motion from Commissioner Branch, a second from Commissioner Peacock. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none of those, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising their right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 10, which is board approval to surplus 3 dump trucks. Ms. Daniels.
This was part of last year's budget process. We're asking for the 3 trucks listed in your packet to be declared surplus and sent to auction.
You've heard the explanation from
So
Ms.
moved.
Daniels. Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion to surplus the trucks, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 11, moving down the agenda, is approval of Old Spanish Trail. This is change order number 2, Ms. Daniels.
It's a change order provided by DRMP in the amount of $153,416.20 to overlay an additional 5,500 linear feet east of where this project currently stops. This would include tacking the existing surface as well as painting the pavement markings, and this would come from D4 bond.
Okay. Got a motion from Commissioner Branch, second from Commissioner Peacock. Any questions? Comments? All in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 12 is board approval of the fiscal year 24-25 law enforcement salary assistance agreement, ME 030. Ms. Daniels.
This is a similar agreement that we previously approved for the sheriff's office, but this is for the correctional facility, $803,294.
Thank you for that explanation. Chair will entertain a motion. We got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please symbolize by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 13, approval of the Watson Street drainage improvement change order number 1 for 39 calendar days. Ms. Daniels.
That is the request to add 39 days to this project.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion from Commissioner McKinney, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion also carries unanimously. Item number 15. This is board approval of change order number 4. This is and the closeout for the Dilmore Road Improvement Project. Ms. Daniels.
Okay, we skipped one. If we get back
Okay,
up
skip
to number
14.
14.
Let's move back to item number 14. Thank you. This is board approval of the modification number 1 to the HMGP 4399-147R critical facility generators. Thank you.
So this is a modification. It extends the agreement to 2/28/25 and increases the funding by $484,842. This is after working with the state on the issue that our generators were costing a lot more than what we had funding for. They've agreed to increase the funding.
And this will totally fund the entirety of the project, or are we still kind of scaling back?
We scale back.
Yeah. Based on the available dollars.
Well, 2 things. We had to supply this to FDEM, but we actually reached out to the power company and they provided us with the average daily load of various facilities. We didn't ask them to do all of them, but many of them were oversized. So it's a reduction in the size of the generator, but it'll obviously that'll help save costs. So.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I got a question.
Commissioner Peacock's got a question.
In looking at this project locations, I see number 6 is Jackson County Fire and Rescue Main Station. Don't we have one out there?
The main station, they returned to Station 5 out by Sunland. The new station, Station 1 does. It was involved in the new construction, but this is for the one north of Marietta.
Okay. All right.
Value up.
That's it. Other than I'll be glad when this is over. We've been working on it since the storm.
You and me both.
Okay, hearing
Make a motion, Bruce.
a motion from Commissioner Crutchfield, second from Commissioner McKinney. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising your right hand. All opposed, that's not, the motion carries unanimously. All right, jumping back to item number 15, which is the approval of change order number 4 and the closeout for the Dilmore Road Improvement Project. Ms. Daniels.
The improvements are complete. DHM has approved the project for closeout. Change order number 4 is a deductive change order in the amount of $57,972.34, which brings the contract amount to $804,217.07.
Okay, for the explanation, got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 16 is board approval of the amendment number 1. This is to DHM task work order for the Dilmore Road improvements for CEI, additional CEI services.
Yes, this adds $20,000 to the CI services for Project TAP, and it is covered by grant funding.
You've heard the explanation. Got a motion from Commissioner McKinney, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please symbolize by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Thank you. Item number 17 is board approval of change order number 4. This is for the Indian Springs Sewer. This is phase 2A, and this is in the amount of $233,427.71. Ms. Daniels.
Yes, that amount, and it also is an increase in contract time of 473 days.
So is the increase 407, is that the increase in days or increasing it too?
Increase in days, and then the decrease in cost.
So moved.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock,
Second.
second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 18 is board approval of a final pay application and the closeout documents for Indian Springs. This is the sewer project 2A, Ms. Daniels.
The project was completed as of July 16th, 2024. It's been inspected by the engineer, and staff recommends approval of the closeout documents.
So moved.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock. Second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please symbolize by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Excuse me. Item number 19, this is board approval of a stipulated price agreement for Indian Springs Sewer Project 2C. Ms. Daniels.
This agreement includes line items for the construction project checked by Alday Howell and in line with grant agreement from the state, and we do recommend approval.
This is in the total amount of included on the tab sheet of $6,168,668 is for the entire project.
Well, that's the phase of it.
Right, so that's what I'm talking about for that page.
Yes.
Got it.
So moved, Jim.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner McKinney. Any other questions? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Item number 20 is board update on parks, on recreation parks grant projects. Ms. Daniels.
So with this state fiscal year, we were awarded the FERDAP grant for Cypress Park, which will actually, Brett, do you want to get this update?
Oh, you're doing great.
Okay. Which will include trail development, picnic facilities, additional playground improvements, and support facilities such as parking, lighting, and landscaping. But we did receive notification that we did not get the funding for Howes Landing. I'll turn it over to Red if y'all have any questions, but I think he just wanted to give the update that we did receive the Cypress Park grant funding.
So a couple things on that. We did not unfortunately get the dock project for Howells, but I've put that one in, something with Howells Landing in the past 3 years to no avail. So just wanted to get the board's opinion if we wanted to change it up a little bit, move to a different area. Mr. Donafro and myself had the opportunity to meet with Danny Melvin a couple weeks ago and about Magnolia Landing and some of the issues we're faced there with parking and access and foot traffic and all those things. So if the board wants to kind of shift some of our attention to Magnolia, I could start working with our consulting engineers and come up with a preliminary plan that we could use for future construction funding. We can work with, ideally, I'd like to work with the TDC. I'm not sure if they're able to fund planning of projects. I know we've used them for the actual construction before, but if that would be an option, go ahead and get a plan made to go on with next fiscal year's application process and focus on Magnolia Landing.
Thank you. My thoughts on that are, as I think everybody knows, that there is a tremendous amount of use down there at Magnolia, both by local fishermen, especially during the off season, but also by people visiting, kayaking, canoeing, tubing down Spring Creek. The little bit of improvement that we made down there already, that went down there and under the bridge, improved that area under the bridge a little bit to improve at least getting out of kayaks and canoes and tubes for the ones that come past Bear Paw, and keep them out of the landing, because we get a lot of problems of somebody trying to put a boat in, launch a boat at the landing, and having congestion associated with tubers trying to get out there. So with the improvements that Rhett made by just making it a little easier to get out under the bridge instead of having to come to the landing will help. But there still is a huge need for some improvements down there. And as Rhett said, the fact that we've applied for the grant funding for 3 years now at Howell Landing, we feel like we might be more successful in being able to get grants, boating improvement grant at Magnolia.
And I'll add too, in the letter from FWC, the project did rank high enough to be awarded. There just were no funds allocated to that line item at the state level. So it's not that it's not a good project,
Right.
it just, there was no funding from the state.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
you know what I'm going to say.
I do.
Howell's Landing is in my district. Howell's Landing, of course, is on Lake Seminole, which is a real natural gem for Jackson County. I see a lot of stuff going down, up in Mariana, and I'm not opposed to working on Magnolia Landing, but I think we need to reapply for this grant again, and we need to talk with FWC. I'm going to be working on the Corps, getting their approval on it and everything, so that we don't have any problems there. But there is so much potential on Lake Seminole that we are missing. You go over on Lake Seminole, especially in the spring of the year, there's nowhere to park. Absolutely nowhere to park. They're parking on River Road. We got 7 acres to the south of the landing, but we haven't done anything with it. But I'm going to be talking with the Corps on this. So can't we help them move along on it? But no, I'm not in favor of moving the request from Howell Landing to Magnolia Landing, especially in light of what he just said, that it ranked high enough, but they just didn't fund it.
Can you apply for 2, or is it limited to 1?
So the rule I've always been told is you get 1, but Lucas and I sat through the ranking meeting from their committee, and some did have 2. So I'm not gonna say for sure that's an option or not, because I know I've read it. I know you can't have 2 open at a time, because when I've had successful grants, I couldn't apply with an open one. So I don't know why they would allow to apply for 2. So I'm a little unclear on that part.
We still have other landings on Lake Seminole that need a lot of work. I mean, you start Neal's Landing, Buena Vista, Paramore, Arnold, and Howell. All of them need work, a lot of work, and they get a lot of use. I mean, year round, those boat landings are used.
Well, of course, I have talked to FWC about Magnolia, and especially the officers that actually use it. They're actually, even though they're patrolling that portion of the river, they're not actually able to use Magnolia because of the congestion there. They actually, if I'm not mistaken, and Mr. Melvin's out there in the audience, I think they actually have to use his landing to be able to get on that. And it's important to have them, on that section of river.
The problem with Magnolia Landing, you don't have enough land.
Oh, that's true.
Now, if you could come up with a plan to have parking and everything off-site, you might make it work. But until you stretch that dirt, you ain't done nothing down there.
You can make improvements down. You can make improvements to.
Oh, you can make improvements, but you're not gonna solve the problem.
Well, you won't solve the parking problem, but you can solve the accessibility, especially getting off of the river for those that are not getting out at Bear Paw. There's a lot of people that bypass Bear Paw. Not everybody that's on the spring, they don't go through Bear Paw. There's a lot of them that use our drop off point up at Spring Creek at the head.
But there was a plan, I don't know if it was formulated or not. Rhett, you remember? With talking to the gentleman that had the farm to the west of Magnolia Landing. There was talk about even providing a shuttle service between where the old nursery was.
Yeah, I remember.
I don't know if that farm has sold, but it was on the market.
I think it is.
But there was talk about putting parking over there, because until you find some way to alleviate the parking, you're not gonna solve that problem.
Well, yeah, there's more than just the one problem, though. It's not
Oh, I
just,
know.
there's not just the parking problem. There's the actual problem of getting off of the river onto the landing for even those that are parking there. So I guess my thinking would be to direct Rhett to apply for both of them. If there's nothing that says we can't apply for both, but also because of the fact that, it would be nice to have a plan, to put some type of plan together. Could we at least, talk to one of our consulting engineering firms, whichever one might be the most appropriate, whether it be All Day Howell or HMB, or I guess it's DRMP now, or David Melvin, to talk to them and see what it would cost to put together a plan, an improvement plan for that?
That was my plan. If y'all wanted to pursue that, I can reach back out to FWC and see if 2 applications are an option. If the answer is no, the same question's gonna come back, which direction do we want to go next year?
Right. Okay. Is that all right to do that?
FWC's funding all of that.
It's a FWC grant program, yes, sir.
So called the boating improvement.
It's Florida Boating Improvement.
Is there some sort of a grant program out there now for parks and recreation?
Part that.
No, there's something else out there I heard about. Wasn't for that.
It's the only one I'm aware of.
I'll double check with the person telling me and get back to you. But apparently there's money for parks and recreation.
Now, there's some trail specific grants, but that would have anything we're talking about.
But we could do a lot. If we could improve Howell's Landing, we could generate a lot of revenue by bringing fishing tournaments in here. And they'd be big money makers.
We could potentially do both.
Good luck.
At least, if it's okay with the commission, let's at least get Rhett to talk to FWC and see if there's a prohibition against making both applications. If there's not, then I would say let's apply for both of them. And then in the meantime, also talk to one of our engineering firms, whichever one seems to be the most appropriate, just to see what it would cost. At least, if nothing else, come up with a concept plan.
Sure.
Okay. Do you need any motion for that? Is that good with consensus? Okay. Very good. Item number 21, moving down the agenda, is board approval for Partners for Pets lease amendment. Ms. Daniels.
This is requesting board approval of an amendment to the lease agreement with Partners for Pets. The legal description has been updated to reflect a change in the property being leased to Partners for Pets in order to better accommodate their needs and the county needs. So basically just slightly withdraw or redrawing the area, but the terms of the agreement are all staying the same.
Okay, for the explanation, got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion carries unanimously. Item number 22 is board approval of the appointment of Kevin Buchanan to the CareerSource Chipola Board. Ms. Daniels.
This is just a request for a reappointment for an additional 3 years.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock. Second from Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as stated, please symbolize by raising their right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion also carries unanimously. Item number 23 is board approval to set a public hearing for the updated school board sales tax referendum. Ms. Daniels.
Yes, so unfortunately, the previous public hearing that y'all held, there was a formatting error in the ballot. wording section, and so we have to redo this process. They're requesting to set that public hearing for August 13th at 9 a.m.
So moved.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of that motion, signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. That motion also carries unanimously. Items that conclude section 4. Section 5, other matters from the public. We've got I believe, a request concerning the HHRP home update from Ms. Baker. Is Ms. Baker online? Is Ms. Baker here? Okay. Ms. Baker, if you would come to the podium, state your name for the record.
Deborah Baker.
Good morning.
Morning. It's a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm still having problems, and I just want to finalize some things today. And one thing I want to finalize is the fact that I spoke to Ms. Daniels, and she informed me that the things that I had brought to your attention, that is under maintenance now, and it's my responsibility. But to me, the definition of maintenance is when everything has been completed. Then I become the maintenance holder. And I send you guys a letter again, and I ask that you will review your taping from October 24th and November the 7th of 2023. And in that, $10,000 have been given for my flooring. And Mr. McKinney, Commissioner McKinney said that since the money had been allocated for the flooring, to go ahead and do the flooring. But I think it was Mr. Crutchfield who said, let's go in and have a punch list done. Well, the punch list was done by Mr. Bontrager, came out and did the punch list. So after my flooring was done, he also came out to approve the floor. He said he turned in the punch list, and Miss Amber Tyree explained to him she was not concerned about anything except for the flooring. She had no money. So as the commissioners, what role do you play in stating you asked for a request to be done and the ball dropped? So
I think it was actually Commissioner Peacock that made the request.
he made the request.
Right.
Commissioner Peacock did make the request. Commissioner Crutchfield said I would have never applied for the funding if I was able to reconstruct everything. Because right now, I'm thinking that the contractor is the winner because he gave me a lousy job. One contractor came in, he didn't approve it. He did not approve the house. The contractor came back to the county the very next day and got Mr. Biggs, and Mr. Biggs approved it with nothing being changed. That contractor one said. So, but everything is falling in my lap to correct what because my plumbing in my house is back in. It's $450 for the people to come who install it, to come back to check that. I've called McCoy's. I've replaced hot water heaters because when the contractor installed certain things, it started the day that he got it installed. Like the hot water heater that I had to replace. He installed it in June. It started right then, the warranty. Well, by September, the motherboard had gone out on it. So I had to replace it. Nobody helped me trace it down. Mr. Donna Morgan at that time was in charge. And he told me he contacted the contractor. His secretary gave him the company. But then I had to walk it down myself, which I'm retired. I don't mind the extra what I have to do, but I feel like the contractor took close to $200,000 from the county. And the program was supposed to be a help. It has, it has put a big burden on me.
My understanding, excuse me for interrupting you, my understanding of it was the initial part of your contract that was not done right was the flooring. The flooring was not a good type of flooring.
And I want to thank you.
And that was replaced,
The
correct?
flooring was replaced, but I can't close my back door without having a crack around. It's a lot of things in the house now the house should not have been approved, but your county employee approved that house.
Well, again, without looking at it, some of those things can be sometimes defined as just maintenance. I mean, I know in my house, we just had an addition done and there are some things that have shown up, cracks and things like that, depending on the severity of them, they can be defined either as maintenance or shoddy work, sometimes both.
Okay, well, I feel like though it would be maintenance if it had been corrected from the start. We're talking about day one problem.
So like with the hot water heater, I mean, the hot water heater was installed, it was working.
It was working.
And then at some point in time, shortly after, you occupied the house, it went out.
Less than a year.
And
I had 1 year to live in the house forever, to bring back to the attention. And within a year's time, and the thing was, they said they could still warranty water damage, but the motherboard went out. So it was no good anymore.
But did the warranty cover the replacement of it?
No, sir. No, sir. Because he started it in June and I didn't move in till September. So that many months was gone already on it. And before the year was up, the warranty was gone. So, and this is something else Ms. Daniels shared with me. She shared several different agencies that I needed to reach out that will help me in this need. So here it is. The contract is free now. The county is free from approving it. I'm reaching out to other people. So what do I go to these people and tell them? And then she gave me legal services, which I already been denied their services. So, but if I contact a lawyer, what am I to tell them? Lead me and give me direction. Who do I tell the lawyer they need to seek coverage from? The contractor, the county, the agency, HHRP, who?
That's a good question, but I would assume that they would go against the contractor if they could prove that the contractor actually did faulty work. But, I would talk to your attorney about that.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just because this has been a couple weeks since we discussed this, so just to remind everyone, you all did direct us to get the punch list and the flooring, that did all happen, within a 3-month period of time. There were several meetings that took place. And so I reminded y'all a couple weeks ago that when we went back and looked, there was a punch list created, but then on the punch list, Mr. Bontrager noted that he would deem all of this maintenance of the homeowner, and the only item that he recommended the county pursue was the flooring. But
That has been done.
yes, but we did not come back and put that on the record, which was just an oversight to clarify that on the record. That's why we did that a couple weeks ago. And to make sure that we were all on the same page and make sure the board didn't have anything additional. And the resources that we gave Ms. Baker were, I recommended that she contact whoever installed the septic tank to see. That might be a simple fix. And she didn't know who installed it, so I recommended she contact the health department because they would have that permit on file. So really just trying to help with resources beyond what, our time frame permitted.
I have a question. You say Mr. Biggs did an inspection. Did he physically come out and go through the house?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
And okay, and you're saying that Mr. Bontrager, well, I don't see Mr. Bontrager as a lineman. And he pointed out to me, I don't have an awning over my back door that should have been there. And things that he was really disappointed with himself. When he came the first time, the back door wasn't closed.
Who's
They-
Mr. Bontrager?
One of HHRP, I guess, inspectors.
He's the inspector for the HHRP program.
Okay.
And Phil.
So, Ms. Baker, did you sign off? I see where you signed off on the floor for 3/19/2024.
Yes, I did.
But what about the other deficiencies before, initially? At the closing of the completion of the house, did you sign off on
Well,
it then?
being a single woman, I think the contractor brought me a sign-off sheet. And on the date he brought me the sign-off sheet, I was sitting at the house that I was living in. And he just said, sign it off, your house is ready. Well, I didn't know to sign it off, I'm ready to accept the house. So I did sign off on the house, knowing that I had 1 year to live in the house for corrections. They spray painted the walls in the house. The doors was already white when they came. And they just took the brush and went down, so it's two different whites. It's the white that they use for the ceiling and the white that was on the door, and it's noticeable. Am I being petty? No, I'm not, because I could fix that. The thing is the fact that close to $200,000 was given to this project. And where did it go? Did the contractor get all the money?
So this contractor hadn't been back out since he closed the
No.
deal, right?
He got mad with me for questioning, and he,
No, that's not right,
No.
And I wouldn't, purchase nothing, and if I can't get the contractor back out there to service, give me some service after I move in, that's just not right.
well, the board was satisfied with the fact that the contractor said that he was removing himself from this count.
I do feel like we should at least, to be fair to the contractor, we had no other issues with him on any other house. And I'm not saying that, I mean, sometimes things just happen with certain projects. But Ms. Lessinger did express to me that it's very difficult to get contractors to take projects like this because there's so many layers of paperwork, and they're just more difficult because you're dealing with many entities when you're doing HHRP and ship homes. He was one of the willing participants, and so I do want to be careful that we don't slander the contractor in this conversation when he's not present to defend himself.
And why he removed himself from the county if
Yeah.
he had done everything so correct?
I can't speak to that.
Mr. Crutchfield had a question, comment.
Question I have, like, I know whenever you move into a brand new house and the inspector comes out and he looks around and whatever, and he's going by the code, you gotta have, but he can look at this floor, the wall, the painted, brand new house, looks good. He don't know what kind of material that was. See, I mean, you can't blame him because it all looks good. He don't have a material list. I don't even know if that's required. It's really probably up to you and the contractor what material you want to use. So you probably don't know the material either. It
Oh,
looks
no, I
good when
did
you
not.
walk in. Looks good when you walk in. So it signs off on everything is okay like that, but it don't hold up. If it don't hold up, then you're supposed to go back to the builder. If the builder uses a subcontractor like the water heater, probably what happened with subcontract plumbing. Some builders do the whole job, some contract. Then it's up to him to get a hold of the subcontractor, go there and take care of the warranty, if it's under warranty. As far as it starting, the day the person installed it, if he comes to install that water heater, and it's not being used, the warranty should start when you move in.
Well, you know what? Oh, correct, and it did not. But because he was such a good man, when I had to have a new water heater, he told me, he said, the water heater you had was no good. I will put your water heater in at no cost.
Is it a brand new water heater?
I bought a brand new one from
Yeah.
Lowe's.
I was gonna say, the one that went failed on a brand new,
Yes, sir.
you know, it's not impossible for water heater to not work, you know, or be bad. But it's probably 99% unlikely. You know, I mean, I have never known, you putting something in. Nowadays, a lot of things cause one to fail. If it runs out of water and the power's still on it, it's gonna burn the element of it.
This was the new, water heater, the,
Instantaneous type.
right,
So-
on demand,
Not
I
like
say,
a-
on,
yeah.
Oh, on demand.
yes,
Was it electric or it was electric?
yes,
And this was a brand new house, correct?
yes, sir.
How did the awning, you said the back awning was omitted?
Never put on.
Did the plans call for it?
It did not. Oh, I'm glad she could talk because she was never able to talk to me.
The one you went and bought, you get the same type heat on demand or regular
No,
tank
sir,
water?
just a old fashioned regular.
Regular tank water heater.
But how do I get a house and they tell me that is that not a code for you to have a awning on your,
I mean, you got a roof overhang, so your roof extends out and provides some, but
do the roof overhang? I bet it's.
Yeah, it'll stick over some, because you're gonna have a soffit up there. That's the way trusses are built.
So
It won't be 3 or 4
my thing
feet.
here today is to, about who I supposed to contact. When I contact not legal services, but when I contact a lawyer, who do I tell them? What do I tell them?
who is legal services? Is that what
Is
is
the
that?
legal services in Quincy. I've already been denied them, so. Mhm, yeah.
So, but they would not talk to you or?
No, they said I didn't qualify for their services.
If you hire an attorney, he
He'll know.
knows what to do. You
Okay,
tell him what has happened and he knows how to follow that up. That's why you hire him.
And I would assume that based on everything that I've heard, that your attorney, whoever that is, whether it's legal services or a private attorney, whoever that is probably gonna say that your recourse is to go against the contractor. Because to me, it sounds like you're saying the contractor did not do a good job to start out with. And that the issues that you're dealing with are not maintenance issues, but they're poor workmanship issues. That's what you're saying.
oh, I am saying, but I am also saying that your county inspector came out and said I was good to go.
Right.
When you did that, it was brand new. Everything worked. That's what all these going on.
But, okay, but what I want you to understand is from day one.
Chairman.
Yes.
I would suspect that any attorney that files a lawsuit, and Michelle's probably listening, is going to sue the contractor and will be sued also. We'll be part of it. That's guarantee you that's what's going to happen.
Well, that to me, that brings into mind of whether we even want to be doing these SHIP programs. I mean.
Well,
The quality of some of the work that I've seen, and Ms. Willand knows about, it's horrible. Those contractors that do it, or the ones I've seen, the one that I'm thinking of was horrible.
Well, the other part of that is, and I've seen the plans. Of course, the type of plans that we develop as architects are a lot different than what residential plans are, but the directions that I saw on a project that I went and looked at up, and I don't remember where it was at, Miss Wendy asked me to go look at something. The plans are not what I would consider
complete.
They're not near to completed to the level that I'm used to developing. I mean, there's a lot of gray area. Just not a real detailed, thick set of plans.
What you have to do is find somebody who have the heart of the people who have suffered a loss and not people who, cause see, he couldn't have been all that great because he was at my house 1 minute, the next minute he was a couple of miles, he was running about 5 houses in this county. So, and I told him that I didn't know if he was supposed to use a nail or a screw. But I had somebody higher watching over me. And that's the same thing I leave with you today. I may have been done wrong in a time of emergency, but God has me. And I'll see you guys again, and I thank you for your service.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Knight. Thank you. Is there any action, any direction the board wants to take?
I
don't really know.
think the ball is in her court. If she gets an attorney, I suspect will be named.
Hopefully not. I mean, again, we're administering these programs to help, people that
The
can't
inspection is going to put us in it.
Huh?
The inspector puts the county in it. Based on what she said.
Because the
blame
building
that. I
inspector
don't think
signs off, that means that
He's
everything's
looked at it.
expected, that they meet the code. They don't look at necessarily cosmetic or.
No, but she says there's a crack around her door. That ain't code. Somebody can't hang a door.
Wendy?
Yes, sir. So, through the housing programs, we do have many successful, projects that go on. HHRP did have close to 30 homes built. This is the only home in which we heard any complaints, not saying she didn't have issues, because she did. So this is the only home this contractor had issues with. Years and years ago, we had another project in which there was trouble. For the most part, they all go pretty smooth. You're going to have bumps in the road when it comes to construction. But just to clarify, the building inspectors go out, check for code. The housing inspector is to check to see what is in the scope of work. And
that's
he can
Mr.
look at.
Bontrager? Would that be Mr. Bontrager?
Yes, now with HHRP, Mr. Biggs initially would go out to make sure that the home could be replaced. And if it could, that was his job, to see if it could be replaced, verified by Mr. Bontrager. We sent Mr. Biggs back out to Miss Butler's home to check the flooring. He did that as a courtesy. And yes, it was a very poor quality. So that's why that was replaced for her. So generally, overall, we do help a lot of people, but sometimes things just don't go well. So I just wanted to clarify
That's
that.
why they made that bumper sticker. Things happen.
Things happen. And so just wanted to clarify how it worked.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes all of the items on our agenda. Does Michelle have anything that, Michelle, are you still online?
She had stepped away for a funeral, so I think she's still.
Okay.
Okay.
As far as you're aware, there's nothing that she had to bring to us, anything additional that you need to, okay, let's start down at this end. We always start on my left. Commissioner Kenny, you got anything?
Jeffrey Willis Road, I have a request for striping. It said, Willis Road, so would that fall up under the contract, striping contract? Would that fall up under the scrapping contract to get Willis Road?
What do you? I have to give it a striper because of the width of the road. Do you think you want?
Mainly, that's what I was gonna say, mainly the center line, I believe, would help out because, at night it's dark and pitch black and just can't see, center line. That's all I had, yes.
Commissioner Fresco. Jeffrey, are they running any asphalt that we use for patch today? Not that
They're
you're.
trying to finish up, the ramps on I-10, so they're still doing the FC5 or popcorn, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
Rusty told me they should go back tomorrow.
Okay, very good, very good. Rhett, I'm gonna preempt Commissioner Peacock a little bit. Can you go ahead and give us an update on the mill pond?
He stole my thunder.
is that on purpose?
Sadly, don't have much of one. I haven't personally been out there. I hadn't talked to Derek since the last application, which has been 3 weeks ago or so. Seeing a lot of it from the bridge, as everyone has. Still seeing some social media from residents and property owners that it ain't looking real good anywhere, even within the last treatment area. So I'll reach out to him and see if he's got another trip planned up this way to do a ride through and see what's going on.
I think it would be worthwhile, and I know that you and I have talked about it, I'm sure Commissioner Peacock has talked to you about it. You think it'd be worthwhile to get Derek to come in and, let's have a conversation with him about, what our options are in the future?
Yeah, I think you'd be willing to do
He's
that.
been here before.
Yeah, he's been here before, but that's been a couple of years ago,
It's been a
I think.
while.
No, it's been that long.
Well,
Time flies when you're having fun.
right there when y'all first came on, wasn't it? So it's
Not
about
after
a
we-
year and a half or so.
What about stones? Rhett, have they showed up?
No,
When are they coming?
when he does Spring Creek,
Any idea when that's going to transpire?
he said 5 to 6 weeks from 2 weeks ago when I gave him the approval, so.
So, and what is he actually gonna do? This is, we're using some of the remaining money from the Spring Creek
Correct.
cleanup.
Right.
And what exactly is,
Really, the only thing to do would be skim off the top, what he can. We really don't encourage any more cutting because that just fragments what's out there and it goes downstream. So we just have to define an area that we want the top of it skimmed off, basically.
where will he remove that, the decaying material? Will he work with Airhead or?
That's where it gets fun. So he'll get it off the water and we're responsible for it after that. So
We can put it, what he's done in the past, I think, was take it to shore. And then we pick it up with a backhoe and put it on a dump truck and take it to,
yeah,
Kirkland Pit.
so that involves about 4 or 5 people and several pieces of equipment from the county. It's quite aggravating, to be honest with you. But that's what y'all want to do.
So will we carry it all up to midway up to Hunter's Fish Camp? Is that where you'll?
Depending on where we end up removing it from. So the last time he was down, I guess a couple years ago, we just did right in front of the campground. So we used the campground boat ramp to get everything out. Like I said, hadn't been on it, don't know exactly where the choke points are. Ideally, we just clear out the channel where you can get a boat up and down. So no telling where the worst spots are gonna be right now.
But as far as you know, the application, the spray application of the herbicide, was it Aquathol or something different this time?
The last one was, Priscillacor.
Priscillacor. It seems to be working.
Not from what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have a good boat to get out. So whenever Derek gets up, he usually calls me when he schedules it. Hadn't heard from him, so I'll reach out and see if we can get out and identify areas. I'll take some GPS points that I can provide the stones, and then we formulate a game plan from there for just skimming.
Also, again, I think it might be worthwhile just to have him come and let's have a conversation about what, with this last application not working, from what I'm hearing, not working near as effective as the last time. Is there different chemicals that we can use, or, do we need to take a whole different approach? You hate to just throw our hands up in the air and give up. I mean, but.
Oh, no, that's not in me.
Yeah.
Trust me. So I will do that. And I know he's been talking to, folks across the state, his superiors and everything. So he's been working behind the scenes, even though he's not here. I trust that he's doing his best for us.
You also had talked about the addition of some additional grass eating carp
That is planned for a fall stocking.
so September, October.
Right.
And that may help some, hopefully. I mean, that's the idea, obviously.
Well, the intent was that's more of a maintenance, measure,
Right.
but so use the herbicide to get it knocked back, and then the grass carp stocking will help maintain it. But if it's not dead before they get there, there's more than you'll ever notice them eating. So it kind of takes one to make the other one successful.
Just real quickly, and I think you were the one that told me this, but maybe I've heard it from somebody else, that back in the early 90s when we had the hydrilla, explosive hydrilla growth, the way they attacked it then, which seemed to be more effective for a number of years, was they drew the mill pond all the way down as far as they could draw it down and had a very aggressive, spraying, both from both land and air.
Right.
And, in conjunction with, drawing it down and the aggressive spraying, it seemed to beat back the hydrilla for a number of years until this last explosive growth.
That's right.
Is that something we need to consider?
I'll pitch it to him. He actually, I don't remember what chemical and probably various chemicals used at that time. So we can just suggest it and see what direction they want to go.
Okay, that's all I had. Commissioner Branch.
I don't have anything.
Mr. Pickett.
The grass cutters, where are they?
Bascom, just outside of Bascom. They were in Bascom yesterday.
Okay. I've been working on getting right-of-way deeds for Poplar Springs Road. I've got one gentleman, he lives in New York. I have talked to him. I have written him a couple of letters, and he has only visited this property one time in his lifetime. And he has, I don't know if he understands what's going on. I don't know what the problem is, but I hate eminent domain, do not like it, not in favor of it. But in this situation, I want to make a motion that the board give permission to the attorney to start the eminent domain process on Mr. Shack.
Who is it?
Shack, Leon Shack.
Is he local or?
New York. He's only been here one time in his lifetime. He's got relatives out there in the community, but he doesn't understand what's going on. So this is the last piece that I need, and I want to go ahead and start the process.
Holding everything else up.
Yep.
What do you anticipate? What is the cost for going through that process? Does it have any idea?
We've never done it.
Hmm?
We've never done it. Not
They
back.
did it on, I think they did it on Poplar Springs Road, not Sylvania. They did
How
some on
critical how critical is it that we take action on this today?
I'd love to have had it three meetings ago.
Why didn't you bring it up 3 meetings ago?
I wasn't ready. So I make a motion that we start the process to do eminent domain on this piece of property. It's 0.08 of an acre.
So it's just
It's a sliver across an 8-acre tract.
Got a motion from Commissioner Peacock.
Yeah, start the process.
Second from Commissioner Crutchfield. Any questions, comments? All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 4-1 with Commissioner Branch voting nay. Anything else?
That's all I got.
I've got something on that topic, if that's all right. So
Yes, sir.
I was texting the inspector on that very job this morning. Another thing that's been holding us up is communication relocation. So, I believe the CenturyLink line needs to be relocated. They've been working through that process, but he also reminded me that the original temporary easements that we got a year ago were 365, they're 1-year easements. And this is day 303. So obviously, those are not gonna be, valid much longer. Sight unseen, I know Michelle's all, Clay, I don't know if you have an opinion. Can we get the board to approve an extension of the temporary easements? And then go and get updated signatures on those?
So you're asking for the board to approve an extension of the original temporary?
Yes, sir.
1-year temporary
Yes,
easement
sir.
for another 6 months,
Let's go another year on this one,
another year?
sadly.
And that's on all of the temporary easements that we've got all along Poplar Springs Road.
I don't mind extending them, but I don't see the need of them. I really see no reason to have these temporary easements. We don't need them. They're going to work on the easement that we got, except down to the area where we are taking or getting land from people. They've already signed the right-of-way deeds, but no, I make a motion that we extend them, but I think it's a waste of time chasing people around. It confused the situation.
Do you have to contact those people again to get them to approve the extension? Well, you made a motion.
Yeah,
If we end up on their property outside of that 365-day window, it's a problem.
Okay.
we're not gonna wind up on their property.
Well, according to the contractor, they want that peace of mind.
Yeah, it sounds like to me, it's a pretty, something we probably ought to go ahead and do.
That's
We got a motion from
Yeah.
Commissioner Peacock, second from Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? Comments? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion as stated, please signify by raising the right hand. All opposed, same sign. Since we were talking about easements, how we doing on the easements on Pooser Road for the drainage project?
So got the title work back and Michelle is drafting the easement. She found a discrepancy on one where luckily we did the title work and the name on the title didn't match the property appraiser. So she's working through contact, but hopefully we'll have those ready to start executing fairly soon.
And those are some of the, I'm getting those emails as well, text, that's what that pertains to. Okay. Okay. Clay, anything?
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pittman, do you need easement for that? Is that property in Jacob?
He's gonna have to, Gary's supposed to be getting me the right of ways, and then we'll bring it before.
Okay.
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and close out this, the meeting. Are we planning to continue to meet after this, or we're gonna break for
Yeah,
lunch?
we need to break and give Fred the opportunity to transition the meeting online, or y'all can break now and come back after lunch. It's up to y'all.
What's the,
What
wishes
have we
of the
got
board?
this afternoon?
We just have a list of, we're gonna talk more about the special project book as well as some other
Take a
miscellaneous
break,
items.
come back at one.
Come back at 1 o'clock?
That's
Good
fine.
with staff?
1 o'clock.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and adjourn this, regular scheduled meeting of the Jackson County Board of County Commissioners, and as noted, we'll come back for, budget discussion, budget hearing, at 1